All right, let's take a look at pages 15 through 21 of the Enum and Switch assignment. It's giving some folks a hard time, and understandably so. This assignment is not easy. So let's go ahead and look at page 15. So this is how you define an enum. And when you think about an enum, think about like a multiple choice kind of situation. So an enum is defined like north, south, east, west. In this case, there's a lunch choice. It starts with a capital letter, don't forget. So the enum itself starts with the capital letter, and the different cases inside of it, those are just camel case. Start with lowercase letters, capitalize as needed. And so in this case, we've got enum called lunch choice with these cases. They also added an extra little calculated emoji property. So they added an extra computed property, I should say, that switches based on which one you pick, and it spits out the emoji version of the enum you pass into it. So kind of confusing, but basically what it lets you do is it lets you call lunch.emoji, and it'll, instead of, you know, listing pasta or burger or whatever, it'll list these. So this is just so you know, just a little quick pro tip is there's a different way to do that too. You could do lunch choice, and then actually you can make it a type, so string, and then assign each case the string, and then down here below, instead of calling lunch.emoji, which actually that reads a lot better, you can do lunch.raw value, and raw value is just like whatever raw value you assign to the enum. So this is typically how I would do it, but I do like let's undo it, and I do like how they're doing that because their version does read much nicer. But see, it's more complicated a little bit. What they're doing is they've got this computed property here, and it's spitting out a string. It's called an emoji, and between the curly braces here, it's going to switch based on itself. So based on whatever it is it pasta, soup, or burger, switch and spit out these emojis instead. What that lets you do then down here is to say, yeah, make a lunch, it's a pasta lunch, and then just call lunch.emoji, and then that will also work the same way where it spits out this emoji. Pretty cool. So what they're saying is down here, hey, do the same kind of thing, right? They're saying we want you to add a property to the suit enum that returns the appropriate emoji for each case. Now, some folks will be doing this assignment in Mac in the Cloud. Mac in Cloud is like a service that lets you use a Windows machine. And what I want to say about that is, I guess you can't create emojis in Mac in Cloud, but what you probably could do is you can highlight these, Command C, and then Command V, so you can copy and paste the emojis that are here, boop, boop, like that, into this experiment, basically, that we're going to do. And so what they're saying is add a property to the suit. So they want to basically return an emoji. So it's like the same thing as this up here, right? I mean, really, all you got to do is copy this from here and slam it down here below, boop, and then instead of pasta, burger, soup, you've got spades, hearts, diamonds, clubs. And then for this, like I said, we'll just copy here and paste. Now, if you do want to use the emoji like selector, then you hit Control. So Control, Command, and Space, and that brings up this thing here, and you can actually search for emoji. So diamond, let's use this one here. That's pretty, and then clubs, whatever. And again, like you said, like I was saying, you can actually just copy these ones here too. Okay, that's a little better, a little bigger. Okay, so now what we should be able to do, let's just test that it works, right? Is that we should be able to say there is one suit emoji spits out the spades there. Great. So that's what this is looking for here, is this extra variable called emoji. All right, on to the next page. This page just talks to you about enums, so don't worry about that. Define an enum for the compass directions north, south, east, and west. Okay, so this is interesting. So what you do is you do enum directions or direction. It should be singular usually in enum. And then you do case north. Yeah, and when you define them on each line like this, you don't need the commas. You would need commas if you were doing them all on one line, like north, comma, south, comma, east, comma, west. But I like to define them like this. And again, the reason is because sometimes I will add this extra little bit. So if I want to make a string, for instance, then I would assign this to north. See how I've got this capitalized now. And you don't have to do it like this, but this is just what I usually do is I'll assign them an actual usable value also in case I need to print something out for the user. So going down here, it's going to want you to define an enum for jigsaw puzzle pieces. It's going to want you to create an enum for playback modes. And I'll show you something about this. Actually, just read this text here. You can't use the word repeat because it's a unique keyword. So you want to use the word repeat one instead when you're defining it. Because repeat's a thing inside of Swift. Repeat. See, it's already a thing. So sometimes you can't use words that are already things like let and var, and so you got to be a little bit creative with those. So go ahead and take a look. You can use either of these, any of these methods to define enums. This is the one where you add the string to it. This is the one where it's all in one line. Or this is the one where it's just on multiple lines. It's all good. These are all fine and dandy and valid ways to define enums. So go ahead and complete these ones and moving on. Okay, so check this out. So now they're saying there's this thing called chickens. And it says for chicken in chicken. So there's an array of chickens here. And it's unfortunate because you actually can't see the array, but somewhere behind the scenes there is an array of chickens. Let's go ahead and print, let's print the array of chickens just to see what we're working with here. I actually like chickens a lot because I own chickens. We have 6 chickens at home now. And so it looks like they've got this array with a bunch of different chickens. Some are Rhode Island Reds, some are Grumpy, some are Silkies. So there's a bunch of different kinds of chickens, right? And so they define that array somewhere and they want us to count them. But it says that it only wants to, but down here it says it wants you to check only for chickens that are like hilarious or leghorns. Let's check out the auto completion pop-up to see what possible values are. Yeah, because we didn't create this thing called chickens, so how would you even know? So I guess the way you could do that is you could create a new chicken. So I'm going to go up here and create a new chicken here. Hawkeye. One of my chickens, his name is Hawkeye. Because it kind of looks like a hawk, I think. And it stares at you with these evil eyes. And what is it? It's a type of chicken. I'm just going to use the completion thing to figure out what the heck it wants me to do to initialize this chicken. So I'm going to keep it like that. And let's see. Yeah, there's the circle. So I'm going to fix this. Okay, so we got a breed and we got a temper. And Hawkeye's breed is an Easter egger. Uh-oh. What kind of breeds do they give? Oh, Leghorn, Plymouth. Well, that's annoying, so I'm going to fix that. Command key, click on chickens, and jump to the definition. And so here's where you define the array of chickens. Also, here's where they define their enums, their own enums. And so I'm going to just add Easter egger here. And what kind of temper does she's actually kind of a sassy chicken, so we'll give her sassy for temperament. And then I can hit this little back button here, get us back here. Now under breed, I'm sure, yep, Easter egger is an option, and hit the dot, and she is sassy. So there you go. So we've made this chicken, and this kind of helps us. What does it say? Chicken initializer is inaccessible due to internal. Well, they set that up, kind of annoying. So whatever, I'm going to comment that out. We just needed to learn the different types of things that they had. It's too late, we've seen it all. So let's just count how many silkies that are friendly there are. So for each chicken in chickens, here's the for loop, right? And don't worry about this warning now. It's just saying, hey, you're not using that thing chicken that you created there. And so we're going to do an if statement. So this is just like checking each chicken and then just adding the count. But it wants us to count how many chickens are, update the code to only count the chickens we want. And so the only chickens we want are, so if the chicken that we're just counting is a breed equal to a silky, and the chicken we're checking has a temperament that is equal to friendly, those are the chickens that we want. Silkies are cute little fluffy chickens. They have little fluffy legs too. We used to have a couple silkies, but silkies are hard to keep because you never know if they're a boy or a girl when they're babies. Looks like there's only two, so it's counted two chickens that are silkies and friendly. So that's probably pretty accurate. All right, so that's how you do this one, is you add these if statements and then you put the chickens of interest count inside of the things you're checking. On to the next page. Define an enum to represent the weapons an enemy might have. Change the structure definition to use your new enum instead of a bool. Okay. Basically what it's saying is this weapon, true or false, we want it to be like actual weapons, not true or false. So up above here, we're going to make an enum. And so now down here below, instead of a bool, we want to say that it's of type weapon when you create an enemy now. So basically, let's just make an enemy just to see what it looks like. Let enemy1 equal enemy. Strength is 18, speed is 20, weapon is dot bow. Actually, if you have a strength of 18, probably want an axe or maybe a sword. Okay, so that is what they're talking about for this one. Moving on. Counting votes. So without counting the votes by hand, find out whether the students prefer the chocolate factory or the beach. So up here you've got two options for the destination, chocolate factory or a beach. So basically let's just make some variables here. So beach votes, assign it to 0, and then factory votes, assign it to 0. So we're starting out with 0 votes there. And then where's the array? What is the array you've got here? The array is trip destination votes. So down here we're going to say for each vote, sorry, I'm doing SwiftUI too much, for vote in trip destination votes. So that's like checking each of the votes, and if the vote is equal to dot beach, then we're going to make the beach votes go up by 1. If the vote is equal to chocolate factory, then beach votes, then factory votes equals 1 plus equal. And again, this plus equal is just the same as equals factory votes plus 1. And the way I remember that is, I think you have to do plus equal 1. There you go. Yeah. It used to be also, I don't know if you can still do this, but it used to be plus plus would work also. I don't know if that's still a thing. So let's check it out. So it's like this, but you flip-flop them. Like that. Okay. Doesn't like that, so let's try this plus equals 1 again. Okay, it seems to like that. Now just plus equals, what does that do? Nothing? Yeah, it crashes. Okay, so this is correct. Plus equals 1, increments at 1. 110 times, 90 times. So you can kind of see here, there's 110 beach votes and there's 90 chocolate factory votes. I did it like this with separate if statements because, well, we could have also done else if, but I didn't want to just use else because what if we add an extra thing like a third option, then it messes things up. So that's why I was kind of checking them individually like this. Just, I don't know, maybe not the perfect way, but that's just the way I was thinking. And then we're going to, does it say to write some kind of if-else statement? It wants you to figure it out. So basically, if the beach votes is greater than the factory votes, then IDK. So go ahead and do the same thing down here. And so I'm not going to go through this one because it's the same as the top one. So it's the same thing as this one. Just kind of use the same method to solve this mascots down here. Okay, and this last page here, we've got Enum Target, red, green, blue, gold. Wants us to return a score given a particular range. So red targets should be worth 10, green 15, 25, blue. So we get a function here, and we want to basically, well, let's use a switch statement. Switch statements are cool because they work really well with enums. And so a switch statement is like that. It's you say switch, and then you're switching on what? Well, we're switching on this target. And then basically if in case it's equal to red, let's say, then, and it looks like this function is already returning something. So it's returning an integer. So if the case is red, then we can just say return and 10. I think that's what it wanted. Return 10. Red, green, blue, 10, 15, 25. Okay, so there's more of these cases we got to paste in there. And you'll see, actually, switch statements will kind of help you with that. You want to add missing cases? Yeah, I do. Look at that. Thanks for writing my code. And then we can return 15 for green, return 20 for blue, and then I believe it was 50 for gold. And there we go. Now we should be able to run this, and it should return the score for each. There we go, 10, 15, 20, and 50. Oh, wait a second. I wanted this to be 25. My bad. There. Okay, so hopefully this helps you with this Enum assignment. Not the easiest one, but if you've got any questions, then send me a message. And otherwise, take care out there.